This video is made possible by Practical Defense Systems, the best online security training at the lowest prices. You can start your security career today online at pdsclasses.com. Check them out. Hi, this is Joel Persinger. I'm the Gun Guy. Thank you very much for all of your support of GunGuyTV. I'm very grateful for everything that you do. Okay, well, you know, in the collection of companies that we can make a list at this point that have been banning anybody and anything they don't agree with. They've even banned the president from a whole bunch of things. You can now add Vimeo. Now, Vimeo has not exactly been the most, well, it hasn't really been the safest place to put your videos for a long time. They've always been a little bit on the odd side. But the difference is that unlike YouTube or any of these other places, you have to pay Vimeo to put videos up there. I mean, you can get a free account and you can put a few up there, but if you want to do it the way I do it, you got to have a business account. So I have a business account with Vimeo. I pay them to put videos up there. Nevertheless, yesterday, you know, today I was actually going to do a gun-related video. I was going to talk about some armor that I reviewed, and I was going to finish that video up and post it today, but instead I got to post this because of all this cancel culture nonsense that goes on. All right, so I got these emails yesterday. Here's one. Let me show you it. This is the first one. This is on a podcast I did. This is an audio podcast. Big tech and the media don't pick the president, and it's podcast number 82. Now, what Vimeo doesn't realize is that podcast is all over the place. Vimeo thinks they've shut me up by taking that down. That's the craziest thing in the world. That thing is in video form all over the place. Heck, I think it's even on YouTube, and they haven't taken it down. But it's also available on every podcast player known to man. So it's a little silly that they took that down. Here's the other one. Today was tough. Let me encourage you with this message. Now, this is a video I posted on Patreon, and the whole point behind the video was the election was tough. We were expecting Donald Trump to win. We didn't expect Joe Biden to win, but he looks like he did. This is a really tough day, and then people stormed the Capitol. Let me encourage you that the world is not coming to an end. I think in this video, I even got in the Bible and tried to encourage people with their faith so that they didn't freak out, that it wasn't a good thing to be violent. It's not a good thing to go out and do those things. It's not necessary. At least I don't think it's necessary. And I don't think at this point it actually does anything good. I think it does us a lot of harm. So this is the video that they decide to take down. I contacted them about it because I was like, seriously? Those two videos, really? And the response I got was basically tough. We don't allow anybody to question it. Essentially, in fact, I didn't make a graphic of it. I should have done it. But essentially, they said, we don't allow any criticism of any election anywhere, and we don't allow anybody to say that any election might have been fraudulent. If it's that kind of stuff, then forget it. It's not allowed on Vimeo. Well, I responded to them, and I said, well, that's all fine and dandy and nice, except that this is not a free service. I pay you an annual fee, which is not exactly small, to host these videos, and I've been paying you for years. I don't think this was appropriate. Neither of these videos do any of the things that violate your guidelines, because, of course, they always send you the little thing. These are our guidelines. So I looked through the guidelines. The videos didn't offend any of their guidelines. Nevertheless, I got kind of a curt response. Okay, so in response to that, I thought, well, all right, that's enough. I will send them this. So I did. And this is the email I sent them telling them that I will not continue to do business with a company that censors political speech. So I want to cancel my account. And then they asked me why, because they couldn't believe it. Here they were, they just censored me. I had just said, hey, guys, I pay you, not the other way around. I'm a customer. You're a company providing a service, and now you're telling me that I can't post a video that does not offend anything I can find in your guidelines, and you're threatening me, well, we could cancel your account. To which I said, no, I'll tell you what, I'll cancel the account. I'm not paying you anymore. I would like a refund. And then they have an auto pay thing I've been on for years. I went in there and took off the auto pay. They sent me back a note saying, well, I see that you took off auto pay, Mr. Persinger, and we did get your letter saying that you want to cancel, but we don't understand. Why do you want to cancel? Why would you want to cancel? This is what I'm pointing out to you. This is the problem with these big tech companies. They think that they are the only game in town. They think that you cannot exist without them. They've become so big and they think so incredibly powerful that they have more pride than anybody you'll ever meet. My Bible says pride comes before destruction. Pride comes before a fall. So I canceled. They didn't like it, but they're not going to get paid. Now, they say they can't refund my money because I think my account goes through April. I said, that's fine. I'll go ahead and keep it through April. But you will notice, if you look on the list of the different things that I post anymore, that Vimeo will no longer appear as a suggested place for you to subscribe, an alternative place for you to subscribe to GunGuyTV. I suggest you go to BitChute or Rumble or GunStreamer or the Utah Gun Exchange or one of those places. It's not going to go away because Facebook most certainly could, and I may get rid of Facebook at some point anyway. I've been thinking about it. I got rid of Twitter the other day and have not missed it at all. I've gone to Gab, which is not 100% functional because everybody and their grandmother is going to Gab because of Parler being essentially deleted by Amazon. That's fine. You know, these companies are going to have a reckoning. Here's an example, by the way, since we're talking about reckoning. This article appeared today in the Epoch Times, also in NTD News and so on. Twitter and Facebook, $51 billion, billion with a B, thank you very much, $51 billion combined market value erased since Trump ban. These guys have lost a ton of value in their companies since Trump was banned. And then all of a sudden, what do you see in the news? Oh, it's the CEO of Twitter, Jack Dorsey, saying, well, you know, it probably wasn't a good idea for us to do that. That's really not a good thing. Banning Trump set dangerous precedents, and it furthered division. So essentially what you have here is you have Jack Dorsey, the CEO of Twitter. This is the guy that's in control of the place, okay? And on the one hand, he's saying to the president, hey, you can't talk that way on Twitter. I'm banning you. And then on the other hand, he turns around when he realizes it's costing him money and people are jumping ship, and he says, hey, you shouldn't have banned the president. That was a really bad idea. That was a really bad thing to do. And then he kind of comes back to the middle again, and he looks at the public and he says, but although it was a really bad thing to do, you know, we did warn him and we did tell him, and it really wasn't our fault. We're so sorry we had to do that because of all the damage it does to the public conversation, you know. But it was, you know, it was the right thing for us to do at Twitter. What a bunch of nonsense. Look, people are bailing off of Twitter. They are bailing off of Facebook. They are bailing off of WhatsApp, which is owned by Facebook, and going to Signal. They're going to other platforms that they can use where they can speak freely. What a concept. These folks think they're the only game in town. They're not. They think they are, and they're super prideful, and they think that you cannot live without them, but I'm going to tell you right now, you can. I've already gotten rid of Twitter. I'm looking for an alternative to Facebook. And if you happen to know of one that's viable, let me know, because I'll toss Facebook in a moment and move over to something else. That's one of the reasons why Vimeo canceling or having to cancel Vimeo, I actually fired them. They didn't fire me. It's not a big deal to me. I don't care because the videos are everywhere else. And Vimeo was not a big deal anyway. Now, obviously, if YouTube canceled me, it would be a big deal, but not from the standpoint of whether the videos are available. It's a matter of the fact that that's where people discover you. If that wasn't where people discover GunGuyTV so that they can become listeners and viewers and so on, I wouldn't care about being on YouTube at all. I'd move it off of it, but that is where it's discoverable. So for the moment, hopefully, the presence will remain there. But one way or the other, big tech is not the only tech, and I think we've got to realize that. The other thing is these folks are facing a reckoning for their behavior this way. $51 billion in lost value? Now, that could come back in the stock market for sure, but you know that woke them up. Otherwise, you wouldn't have Dorsey going, hey, oh, I'm so sorry, but it was the right thing to do. That's the reason. If we continue to bail off of these things, these folks are going to be forced to acquiesce, or they're going to find themselves in their own little echo chamber talking to themselves because there's not going to be anybody there anymore. Remember how long it took for Twitter to even try to make a profit. Their costs are enormous, and if nobody's on their platform anymore, they will fold like a house of cards. So, I'm bailing off of them one at a time as best I can. I encourage you to do the same. Find a different app. Go over to Gab. Right now, I'm waiting for it to be more functional as they add servers, but it's actually a neat little deal. I like Gab as opposed to Twitter. And, obviously Parler disappeared. I don't expect it to come back, but there might be other things. Go over to Signal. I downloaded Signal today, and I got it all set up on my phone. I got it set up on my laptop. I'm going to set it up on this computer here, and I've already contacted some friends and said, hey, let's leave WhatsApp and go over to Signal. And hopefully they'll agree, and then I can delete WhatsApp from my phone, and we can get away from these big tech companies and start moving to the little ones that don't track us and put a bell on our butt and follow us all over the place and sell our data and then tell us what we can say and what we can't say. I'm tired of that. I enjoy my freedom. I know you do too. So let's start practicing it. That's my suggestion. See you later, Vimeo. You will not be missed. In fact, frankly, that's one less bill I got to pay every year. How about that? All right. Have a great week. Wherever you go, whatever you do, stay safe.